Hey yo, what's up everybody, it's Nightmare456 here, and today's video is going to be a little different. As some of you may already gathered from previous videos and shorts I've made, I'm a Fortnite fan. Fortnite is a game I'm definitely planning to make a bunch of more content on, especially with the upcoming season, Override, and that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. More specifically, we're going to be talking about one specific collab coming this season, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog. This video is going to be somewhat of a timeline rundown of the Sonic x Fortnite collab history, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's start all the way back in 2021 during Chapter 2. After coming out of the Marvel season the previous year, Fortnite was going crazy with the collabs. With the release of Season 5 came the Gaming Legends series, with the very first official skin in the series being Kratos. This whole chapter really solidified Fortnite as the big collab game, and almost anything started to feel possible. Lore-wise, the game started to shape itself as truly being the center of the multiverse, especially for video games. I believe it was sometime late in the chapter that Sonic was officially on my wish list for the game. Nothing in regard to a collab sparked up just yet, other than SEGA and Epic Games already having a growing partnership, as well as Epic acquiring Fall Guys, which already had a collab with Sonic. Moving on to 2022, Chapter 3 had came out, and the amount of collabs coming to the game grew even larger, with one of my most favorite collabs from the chapter being Dragon Ball. If you don't know me, Dragon Ball is one of my favorite franchises right below Sonic, so this was a dream come true. I've been rocking the Goku skin as my main for nearly 90% of the time I've been playing since the collab came out. Though, with Sonic soon to come, I may sadly be retiring him, for the most part. You did good, Goku. You did good. In terms of a Sonic collab, nothing else came from this year either, besides maybe a few concepts. The Sonic franchise was also doing pretty good itself, with the release of the second movie, Sonic Speed Simulator on Roblox, Sonic Origins, and Sonic Frontiers. A lot of good came from this year for Sonic, and definitely helped him be seen as a big gaming icon again, which is perfect for Fortnite. Now we're in 2023, which brought us Chapter 4. This one's a personal favorite chapter for me, at least for the first two seasons and maybe a little bit of the third, but it definitely got weaker in the second half. We were also given the first OG season, which was honestly one of my favorite eras of the game solely for how fun it was to play with friends. The OG season also gave us an Eminem collab, who's actually one of my favorite rappers, so I was very happy with this year of Fortnite overall. As for Sonic, still nothing interesting yet, just besides there being a little bit of speculation. Still though, with all of the collabs brought in this chapter, Sonic started to seem more and more possible. Moving on to 2024, Chapter 5 had released, and while a lot of people's opinions on it weren't very high, I actually enjoyed a lot of it for what it was. And this is the first chapter that actually brought us a good amount of info for Sonic. For starters, in the Big Bang event, a chili dog was spotted, and yeah, I guess that was enough for people to run with. But right as the chapter had released, a user on Twitter named Wrenchmaster, who's a goated artist by the way, made a Sonic skin concept, which itself was a remaster of an old concept he had made, now being more proportionally accurate to Fortnite. And while it wasn't perfect, it got the job done. It actually ended up being noticed and reposted by Hypex, which helped it gain a lot more traction. A few months later, he actually turned his concept into a model and modded him into the game, and it actually worked really well. Let the video speak for itself. This was proof that Sonic himself could actually work as a skin, without needing to be put into a mech. People have made some pretty cool concepts for mechs and other compromises for a skin, and as cool as they are, having the skin just be Sonic himself with tweaked proportions would be miles better, in my own opinion. Just imagine how much funnier it's gonna be seeing Sonic hitting emotes himself as opposed to him sitting stationary in a mech that does it for him. Plus, Sonic's whole thing is running in movement, so a mech just kind of feels out of character for him. If he does end up being put into a mech though, I wouldn't mind all that much. Sometime after Wrenchmaster's concepts came out, and just a few weeks after the huge 2024 roadmap leak that came out, which on a side note is still crazy to look back on and see how they even let that happen. Anyways, a smaller leak had happened, which basically was portraying itself as a further look into the initial roadmap leak for the months of June and July, showing that a 16-bit Sonic sprite backbling was coming sometime during June. This obviously and thankfully never ended up happening, with the leak either just being outright fake or the backbling being scrapped. Later in that year, a user on Twitter by the name of Ramona, who had insider info, claimed that SEGA and Epic actually had many collabs planned, not just Sonic. but they ultimately ended up being put on hold due to them disagreeing on character proportions for, you guessed it, Sonic. Seems like a typical SEGA thing to me. SEGA had wanted Sonic to have completely accurate proportions, and Epic told them straight up that it just wasn't possible. Epic did try pitching a man in a Sonic costume, but SEGA shot that down. If anything, if they ended up adding Sonic Man into the game, I'd still be happy. So around this time, a lot of people felt like it was over, but I, Nightmare456, never gave up hope. Also, forgot to mention, Wrenchmaster came out with an updated concept which made Sonic look even cooler. But from this point onward, the idea of Sonic x Fortnite actually started to become more and more possible than we would have ever thought. Heading into 2025, which gave us Chapter 6, a pretty solid chapter overall. It was during this year that the Sonic x Fortnite community really found itself, led by an absolute beacon of hope, the one and only Sonic x Fortnite hype guy on Twitter. Funny story, I'm now actually kind of friends with him. Not like best friends, but you know, we're chill. Sometime in early September, data miners took us all by surprise with the announcement of finding Kicks textures in the files, both for Sonic and Shadow themed shoes, which at the time felt like a huge curveball. I mean, there he was, Sonic, and Shadow too, of course, in the game's files, ready to go for an upcoming collab, but as a pair of shoes. Sadly, although we did end up getting alongside the Kicks were the Porsche 918 Spider, which in all fairness is a very cool car, and the Rocket League collab rewards. Sonic Racing Crossworlds had just come out, so the car collab made sense, but no skins or even sidekicks? I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I dropped nearly $200 in the month of September to pre-order Crossworlds and buy a 13,500 V-Bucks package in preparation to buy whatever was coming to Fortnite. But it still felt weird, not to mention the weird decisions for the collab itself. So you give us Sonic and Shadow shoes, which aren't even their actual shoes and are instead shoes themed after the characters, which even then aren't even from the same line of Pumas, as well as giving us not Sonic's car, but a car with Sonic themed decals, consisting of Sonic, Knuckles, and Super Sonic? Where's Tails? Oh, there he is. That makes sense. I'd understand if it was just Sonic and Shadow branding for the collab, but you included Knuckles too. It was just a really confusing time. It was bittersweet, but a lot of us were still pleased to at least have some sort of collab. There was one leak that was going around just before the release of the car and shoes of a skin, which ended up being fake. Wrenchmaster, I love you, but I will never forgive you for that. The concept was pretty fire though. There were also talks of adding jam tracks such as Live and Learn and Escape from the City, but they never ended up seeing the light of day. So at this point, people were unsure if SEGA just didn't have any interest in skins, or this was just them testing the waters to see how much interest people would actually have in a full collab, which I believe both statements can be true. Aside from all of that, Wrenchmaster actually redeemed himself from that fake leak by delivering another fire concept. This time with an improved Sonic model, ported into the game with the help of True_Blue22 and BoredCrow24, showcasing him hitting all sorts of silly emotes. The model worked so well too. We were at a point where a full-scale collab was uncertain but not impossible. Plenty of us still held on to that little bit of hope. Here we are in the year 2026. Fortnite Chapter 7 is still going strong and is only going to be stronger with what we know is to come. After years of concepts, fake leaks, and for someone like me, a total of 5 years of waiting for this collab to finally happen, our dreams slowly started to become a reality. Starting back in January with Adira, a leaker unlike any other, who quickly built an incredibly strong report for themselves, tweeted out that a full-scale Sonic collaboration was actually in development and on the way, and the characters themselves would be skins. No sidekicks, actual skins. We now know how Adira had gotten all their info, with them being an insider at Epic Games with an extremely high position, eventually getting caught and sued by Epic, most likely after them leaking the Kingdom Hearts collab. Disney must have taken real good care of them. With Adira being gone, we had no other info to go off of, but what we did know is that it was coming. We just didn't know when. It's also the year of Sonic's 35th anniversary. Happy birthday, bro. So a big collaboration with something like Fortnite made sense. Throughout the following months, more and more info pointed towards people believing that a gaming season could be happening that year. Before Season 3 release, the title was revealed to be Runners, which sparked up some hope for people since Sonic's whole thing is, you know, running, but it didn't end up bringing anything. In June, during the Unreal Fest presentation, it was revealed that Sonic Racing Crossworlds would have an Epic Games Store tie-in with Fortnite. So at this point, it was practically confirmed. On top of that, it was also said that 30+ gaming collabs were coming this this year, which seemed very unrealistic at the time, but now with the knowledge of a gaming season, seems very plausible. Then in July, a big leak day came, all gaming related. First of all, it was revealed that Fortnite was working on a character with a Lego minifigure that required a custom head, eyes, and mouth, which led most people to believe that it was Sonic, and that he was likely to be in the Season 4 Battle Pass. Along with him came leaks for many other collabs, such as Persona 5, Mega Man, Kingdom Hearts, Crash Bandicoot, and many more. Minecraft has also had some speculation for a collab, but the info on that has been really inconsistent, so we still don't really know for sure. Then, just a week later, some of the most substantial leaks had came out. The data miners found encrypted posters all related to different gaming icons, with the most important one being Dr. Eggman! Yeah, that's right. Along with the Sonic poster comes a secondary version with Eggman's logo plastered on top of it. So this directly confirmed that after all this time, not only was Sonic finally coming and going to be in the next season's Battle Pass, but that Dr. Eggman would be joining him. This was surreal when it came out. I wasn't even expecting leaks to come out that day until I got the notification from Hypex, which blew me away. By the way, why did both Hypex and Sheena unanimously agree on using this AI-generated image of Eggman? It isn't even the first thing that pops up with a Google search. You could have just picked an official render from literally any of the games. That's besides the point. So we now knew that not only is the next season confirmed to be Gaming Legends themed, but that Sonic would finally be coming to the game after all this time, joined by his nemesis Dr. Eggman himself. It seems that during the upcoming Unstable event, happening in just 2 days, the stabilizer is going to be hacked by someone or something, which is what will bring all of the gaming legends to the island. After the event is finished, the currently encrypted posters are going to start popping up across the map, as well as there being some sort of hacked zone mechanic in which certain abilities will be granted to you within the zones. One of them being an infinite stamina and speed boost perk, which, I mean, come on, this feels a little too on the nose at this point. I think it would be really cool if it ended up being Eggman who was hacking the stabilizer, because if him and Sonic end up having some major storyline relevance, I'd love to see Wonky Land get turned into an Eggman Land POI, as well as giving Sonic his own area on the island. I wouldn't even mind if it was a Green Hill themed POI either. As stated in the beginning of this video, the name of the next season is confirmed to be Override, which essentially just means hacking a system, so in terms of storyline, I think we're in for a real treat. I didn't think anything could top the reveal of Geno in the Showdown Live event, but this just might.
Alright guys, so first of all, hello. Second of all, I'm recording this mid-editing, and I just want to throw in a quick heads up. Since the 10th, they've been doing reveals for all of the collabs that are upcoming. They already released one for Tetris, Persona, and for some reason 99 Nights in the Forest, which I don't know why that's a thing. But and most important of all, a Sonic one got released. And it was actually the first one to release on the 10th. So I'm just going to throw it up right here so all of you guys can see.
So, with all of that being said, we're brought to today. We're just a week away from the next season's release, soon to finally have our look at Sonic the Hedgehog finally in Fortnite. It's been an amazing journey, and I cannot wait to finally be able to play as him in-game and annoy all of my friends with it. I mean, they gotta be just as excited as I am too, right?
Hello?
Hey Jay Chachi,
What?
are you excited too?
No.
Before we end things off, there's a few things I want to say and share with you all. Firstly, I want to give a quick shout out to Radical X, aka the Sonic X Fortnite hype guy, not only for further igniting my hype for the collab, but igniting the hype for thousands of others. On top of that, I'm very grateful for the opportunities he's given me to work on stuff for his own personal projects, such as Sonic Haywire, which if you don't know, I made the artwork featured in the music video for the theme song Break the Limits, which is sung by the legend Johnny GIOELI himself. He's been a bro and I can't thank him enough for everything. I'll leave a link to his Twitter as well as the Break the Limits music video down below, so be sure to check them both out. Lastly, I actually have something very special that I worked on and want to show off to all of you guys. I made my very own Sonic X Fortnite bundle concept that we'll go over together. Here it is. Starting with the skin, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, of course, and I'm honestly very proud of how he turned out. I think his proportions are near perfect, and I wouldn't have him in the game any other way. For styles, you can see that he has a Supersonic style and a Rider's Gear style, since it's one of my personal favorite looks for Sonic. I would have drawn these, but since they're not on full display, I just use existing renders. For the back bling, I went with an item box. It just has a lot of potential when it comes to displaying things. I could imagine it working similar to how Spider-Gwen's back bling does, being reactive to actions you perform in the game. If not an item box, then either the Chaos Emeralds or just a simple ring would work too. For the pickaxe, I see a lot of people go for the gold post featured at the end of every classic stage, but I personally think the star post, aka the checkpoint, works a lot better aesthetically. Imagine each time you swing, or more specifically hit something with it, the top part swings around and changes color back and forth between blue and yellow, along with the little ding sound effect, just like when you pass by it in the games. For the glider, the tornado just makes the most sense, with the animation being something similar to either the Raven Express or the Fist of Doom glider. Tails could be a cool glider too, but I honestly feel like he'd be a little out of place with Sonic being stretched and all, so I'd much rather save him to get his own skin, preferably in a mech, since stretching out Tails' limbs looks a little bit weirder than it does for Sonic. For kicks, if they're going to add any, they would have to add the soap shoes from Sonic Adventure 2, but if they weren't going to make them kicks, they could just be a selectable style for the skin itself. For the contrail, it's an original idea of mine based off of the star trail Sonic leaves behind in the Sonic CD opening animation. And finally, a Sonic logo as a player banner. That is my entire concept for Sonic's bundle. Let me know what you all think down below. And with that, we can finally wrap things up. I have plenty of ideas for videos when the season drops. So stay tuned for those. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. The support is greatly appreciated. And leave a comment telling me your guys' thoughts on the collab and what you'd like to see come from it. Also, before you go, consider joining and checking out my Discord server. It currently isn't super active because of how small it is, really only consisting of me and my friends as well as just one other guy, but I'm looking to change that and hopefully build a community through it. So stop by and say hi if you feel like it. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.